Welcome back, everybody.
There
It
you
is
are.
the 406 Budcast. We have an amazing episode tonight. We've got Tamarack Cannabis, and joining us is going to be Mike and Aaron, man. We're going to have some great guests, some great content. Make sure you're sticking around, hitting that like, follow, and share, and we'll be back right after this.
Montana vibes under the big sky. 406 Budcast gonna get you high. Adam, Hannah, Tanaki, and Nate bringing the heat. No time to wait. From the mountains to the plains, we're fucking up, break your chains. Every topic, every strain in this cannabis domain. 406 Budcast, let's celebrate. Rolling up, it's time to celebrate. Adam, Hannah, Tanaki, and Nate in Montana, we dominate. From the soul of the pillars, we're on the map. Lighting up the scene, ain't no cap. Hip-hop beats in the background as we drop knowledge profound. From CBD to THC, we're breaking down the chemistry in this podcast symphony. Come join our THC family.
Hey, welcome back, guys, to the 406 Budcast. We have our fantastic guests from Tamarack Cannabis. If you guys want to go ahead and add them in here real quick.
Hang on, I gotta get my mouse to talk.
No worries. We've got some mouse connection issues,
There we
classic,
Make
and
sure
we are
you
in. Welcome.
like, subscribe, share, and follow.
Hi, thanks for having us. I'm Aaron. This is Mike.
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
How's it going, guys? And then, of course, we have Michelle behind the desk, myself, Daniel, Adam. We have on the other camera, we have Nathan and Tanaki. And we've got no Hannah tonight. She is with the kids, of course. So
We miss you, Hannah. Leave us comments.
yeah, hopefully
You're
we'll
not a
see her
good girl.
soon.
And thank you guys for joining us tonight from Tamarack there. We really appreciate you jumping on and getting out here from the remote locations of Montana.
Absolutely. Thrilled to be
Whitefish.
here. Thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about Tamarack. What was going into the founding and some of your roots, if you will say.
Absolutely. So Tamarack had its roots in 2009. It was a group of friends back when it was small. It was medical. I joined the group in 2011. I bought out 3 of the 5 partners at that time and became the majority owner. And then in 2014, Mike bought out the remaining owners, and Mike and I are married as well. So we owned the whole thing from 2014 onward. I got into the business because I thought it was an interesting business opportunity. To be honest, I always smoked weed, but it was the business that got me in. But it was the patients that kept me in. It was really moving to see what kind of good medicine this was for people. And I got really attached to our patients. We kept them through all the ups and downs of the crazy parts of the law we all went through back then. And we came out on the other side. We've always been really interested in the law. We've helped try to move the Montana law forward over the years. And then we got rec, and things have been great. We've got 2 stores in the Flathead Valley, one in Kalispell, one in Whitefish. And we are still seed to sale. So everything we sell in our stores, we make, which kind of sets us apart in this day and age. And we do wholesale our products out. So you can still find us in about 20-25 other stores across the state. But yeah, we pride ourselves on being people first. We have some great people working for us. I wish they could all be here too. But yeah, we're in it for the people. We're in it for the cannabis. We love what we do. We pride ourselves on our quality. We're a small mom and pop thing by the very definition, but we're kind of an institution in the Flathead Valley. So that's
Absolutely.
what we're for.
And I think you guys were originally started with Ed Doctor as well on that, and he was one of the original members of the MTCIA who helped keep the cannabis laws alive here in Montana. And you guys did a lot of hardcore work for that, right?
He did. So Ed was part of TAM from 2019 to 2011.
09.
Or 09 to 2011. Yeah, sorry about that. So I
back in the day.
kind of on the way out when I was on the way in, but we kept that going. So yeah, we've tried to stay involved in the legal aspect from day one. We're still members of the MTCIA. I've been on the board of the MTCIA for a lot of the years. I'm not currently on the board.
I know you guys gathered tons of signatures out there when it really mattered. So, I know you guys got street cred out there for sure.
Oh, so many signatures. We actually lent our retail manager full time to the signature gathering to save the law. So she was out 40 hours a week. Yeah. Shout out to Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Mary got more signatures than any other single volunteer in the Flathead. And
Hail Mary.
Yeah.
She did that for us. But we were out there too on the street corners out there. I had some hilarious stories and interactions from all those signature gathering days.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I do remember them. We came from Polson and those areas, but I was also the founder of the MTCIA, and it's just so great to have you guys on the show and be able to showcase so many people out there who have been in part of this industry for so long and who really pushed it and actually been on the ground and really pushed the ability to keep cannabis here when everybody was trying to push us out. And we really appreciate everything you and Mike have done, and we appreciate you stepping on the show and sharing your experience with us.
Oh, absolutely. We're stoked to be here. And I mean, this is like the dream back in the bad days when we had the 3-patient limit and the lawsuit that never ended and was like the constant sinkhole of funding for all of us. This was the dream that we would get to this place. And so we did. And it was a team effort across the state, and we were proud to be part of it.
You guys feel now that we're here, we fought that hardcore battle, but I mean, now we're here. So what does that relate to you?
It relates to us. So I still hearken back to the medical days. I believe cannabis is medicine, whether a person has a card or not. And so we still try to treat it that way in a lot of things. We've kept all of our medicinal products. We've kept our RSO. We've kept the things that those people still need. While still, branching out, figuring out what the rec market wants. Of course, we're in downtown Whitefish, so we see a lot of tourists every year, and we love them. And we have the products they're looking for too. It's super fun to get to introduce people from all over the country to cannabis. We definitely get people in our store every day in the summer that are, I've never tried cannabis. What should I do? And that's fun. I love that. I love broadening people's horizon, showing them the beauty of this plant. And
absolutely. We advocate heavily for educating our customer base, whether that be through, terpene knowledge or, you mentioned that you guys still have RSO, what specific formulations do for specific people, so on and so forth. So it's really, really awesome to hear some people that are holding true to the roots of cannabis, which is, medicine, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and RSO is kind of hard to come by nowadays.
It's
you
crazy.
don't see it in very many shops anymore.
So
it's such good medicine. We sell it in a syringe form. We also sell it in capsule form. We wholesale it out, so we're trying to get it in more stores across the state. For some people, it's certainly the ticket. In a way nothing else seems to be.
Well, I'm going to interrupt for just a second, and then I'll jump out because I know I'm a little slower on the podcast. But I want to say thank you guys. You gave us some samples at the cannabis show.
Not
Yeah.
for them.
For the CBD when we were up there, and we gave them to a friend who had some issues with his knees and absolutely loved them. He's actually a surgeon doing wonderful, and he wanted to let you guys know that when he's ready, he will get some more. So I want to get some more on our shelves.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
We love hearing that. Yeah, we make a great pain salve. We make it from scratch with Arnica montana and other herbal stuff that really makes it good medicine. So love to hear that.
CBD tincture. I think we've actually got a photo of that linked up in a little video we put together with some pictures and stuff you guys had sent us.
Yeah.
We could take a look at that right quick, and I'm pretty sure it's in the last clip there. But yeah, some really good CBD, guys.
So, but before we throw that out there, I want you to think on this. Everybody has talked about cannabis as a medicine. I would like to throw this out there before that video that cannabis is a supplement. Let's talk about oil when we come back.
Sounds good.
Fire.
We're going.
Tamarack life from the trees so tall, Whitefish light where we stand so strong. Montana skies how they call our name. Green leaf dreams bringing more than fame. Roots run deep from the mountain peak. Herbs so clean making hearts feel free. Canna magic in the northern lights. Every hit feels like endless nights. Tamarack Cannabis, feel the vibe. Montana high where the good times ride. Whitefish flow in the purple haze. Take a trip to better days. Rolling clouds drifting through the mind. Stars so bright in the midnight sky. Breathe it in, let the world unfold. Every moment made of gold. Hustle day just to chill the night. Montana green makes it all just right. Feel the beat, heart and soul unite. Tamarack love reaching new heights. Take a break, find your mellow groove. Whitefish calm, put you in the mood. Tamarack love spreading through the crowd. Peace and joy with the music loud.
All right, so that's just a brief look at a few of the different products that they offer. A really awesome backdrop you guys got there inside the shop too, as well. When I was like, that's dope. That's really dope.
Environment matters a lot.
Could you tell us a little bit about? We've seen the water soluble formulations that you guys had there. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on with that?
Yeah, so that's inspo. We've got some here. That is our water-soluble micro-emulsified drink mix. So it comes in 6 flavors. It's micro-emulsified, so it kind of falls between a normal infusion and a lot of the other drinks you see on the market, which are like nano-emulsified. You can dump it in water. You can dump it in soda. You can put it in anything, really. It'll dissolve. 1 capful is 10 milligrams. The whole vial is 100 milligrams. And it's really dosable. So we have people that add it to soda, sparkling water, just about anything. It's
How about coffee with butter?
Yeah, coffee
With butter.
yeah. So we don't have any like the flavors like right now are like cherry, grape, lemonade, pink lemonade, orange. But we are coming out with some hot flavors soon. So we've got a hot chocolate and a full cider coming in this winter. So we're really excited about those. The hot chocolate's going to be awesome in coffee.
Also, currently, that's all distillate based. So we're going to have a full spectrum inspo line coming out soon as well, which
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is that going to be a sort of a 1-to-1 full spectrum, or what do you imagine that being like?
Yeah, we might do a strain specific or indica sativa kind of thing, we're thinking. And yeah, we could add CBD and go for a 1-to-1. So yeah,
Well,
we're in the deep.
You said you had your products on how many store shelves?
I think the last count was about 23 or 24.
Awesome. Well, 406 Organics would like to make it 25.
Yeah, or
Absolutely. We would love that.
that would be 28, but we'll talk details.
28, 29 as it comes. But you know, we'll try to get them open.
Absolutely. We would love that. Yeah, inspo is really great. It doesn't take up fridge space like so many of the drinks. It's small. It stores easily. So the stores really like stocking it. And it's really a fun product. We also have a beverage product, the bitters that you saw at the end. So those are cocktail bitters.
Nice.
And those were developed by Molly, who is our marketing and sales director. She has a background in the liquor industry, and she brought some of that to us and said, hey, let's make a THC bitters that we can make mocktails with, so we can have THC in our mocktail instead of alcohol.
Oh, nice.
And they're in 4 strain specific infusions. They are just like traditional cocktail bitters, but they're each matched to the flavors and terpenes of those strains. They're my favorite beverage thing. I just open a LaCroix, put a few drops of the bitters in, and you've got a little mocktail.
You know, we had the opportunity to get that with the Mountain Organics nano shots. So I would be absolutely interested to taste your guys's as well. And I think that's the one thing that's great about this industry is people like you and people like other people out there, Mountain Organics, are bringing these great products together. Fantastic that could be an alternative to alcohol. And people like your particular employee who came from an alcohol background is using that to sort of shift people over. And I think that's really, really important. And people need to tee off on that. And thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. I'm not a big alcohol drinker myself. I've always been a cannabis user, and you can see the, kind of stark difference that it makes in people.
I agree 100%.
I want to encourage people to have that social experience because, if there's a good that alcohol does, it gets people out, it gets them socializing, it gets them in a group. And sometimes not drinking, I'm always like, man, I don't have my drink in my hand. So it's like, yeah, I want a cocktail. I just want it with THC.
Right.
Perfect.
I was walking around this one festival this one time, and it was at this one place in the middle of a paradise, and they had a sinful, like the what is it, the dispensers for ices at the gas stations.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Well, this VIP tent had just a whole setup of them in there, and when you walk by, they were like, yeah, it's free all week long. You come by, grab a cup. Why did I bring water? I had like cases of water for the festival. That's the one thing you make sure you take. And I literally just switched over to drinking the orange creamsicle sinful infused. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know what it is about a good infused beverage to just walk around instead of alcohol, but you just sip on that and your day is right, man. Like,
and I'm curious to see how quickly, we're going to adapt to the alcohol versus THC infused drinks once the scheduling happens.
Come to the
what do you guys
side,
think
Luke.
about that out there as far as the comments and as far as our friends over there at Tamarack?
Yeah, I think beverages in general are the fastest growing segment of the edible market across the country. So beverages are definitely part of the future. It's what we keep looking toward. And I think as you see rescheduling, I think you're going to see the beverage line become increasingly popular.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of funny hearing you guys talk about how this is the dream state for you, whereas I'm just getting into the industry and I'm like, yeah, but how come we can't just have a THC drink at the bar? This is stupid. So, there's always another line to be pushed. There's always more things to be negotiated for sure.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely. We won't stop pushing until we're at least seen equal to alcohol. I think that's always been my goal. It's like, I just want to be given the same rules that alcohol has. That's fine with me. And I think alcohol rules sit in a good place. I think society has accepted where they sit, and that's where we want to get. And there's a long way to get there, from consumption lounges to backing off on some of the unnecessary regulations that don't do anything for public safety and just cost money.
Agree. So what do you guys see as far as your aspect, as far as the public safety regulations that you feel you're beating your head up against that doesn't make sense?
Well, I'm all for things like testing and stuff like that. But some of the really stupid regulations, I think, involve tagging plants. Other states have moved away from tagging individual plants with disposable RFID tags. Talk about a non-sustainable practice.
We couldn't.
Plastic and microchip that has to go into each plant for no reason. It doesn't do anything. We should be able to just enter a whole room or a whole flower lot in one tag. Just kind of those common sense things that you're like, this isn't increasing public safety. This isn't doing anything. It's just
it's causing a lot of bureaucracy rather than actually public safety measures.
Yeah, absolutely. Like hitting at those and keeping it sensible. And moving some of, I think everybody who's been through a cannabis inspection in the last few years is like, really? Are you kidding? That's what you're worried about? Okay.
We got Daniel over here just itching to throw his comments in because we're in the middle of our cannabis renewal right now, and Tanaki as well. She's got a lot of comments to add on this one. So every time you say something, they're both just sitting over here itching like, my word, like, yes, indeed. So I will let them throw their 2 cents in.
Those RFD tags, Daniel's got a vendetta against them. We've got bags of them in every room that have already been used and dead. And we're just holding on to them just to show them off.
Well, I think it's ridiculous just how much waste it creates, to be completely honest with you.
But Daniel, please say why you keep them.
Well, I genuinely think that there's a case for fraud, waste, and abuse. To be honest with you, it is actually unnecessary, as has been shown in other states, and so at this point, it is willful. I think we have a case to be made to get rid of them, but it just takes a team of people to push.
It's clear somebody just knows somebody that makes RFID tags and got a pretty good bid.
Yeah, of course.
The tags.
Well, I mean,
$3 to $5.
Like we hear from all of our point of sale systems and everything else like that, Metric is one of the most profitable sticker companies in America. So realistically, they have entered into these contracts throughout America. And the beautiful part about it is I actually had a conversation with somebody from the CCD today, who I won't name because they didn't give me the permission to do so. And I won't get into too many details of the conversation, but I will say that there is a shift to understanding that maybe, we might need to look at other types of technologies. And one of the things that I proposed was something that Daniel and I work very close with through Montana Cyber Technologies, is using blockchain technology as a way of the seed to sale tracking, because that's an immutable ledger that we can do. And I understand we're getting a little deep in the weeds here, but I think the CCD and other regulators are actually open and looking for other systems that aren't just Metric. And we as an industry might need to sit down and talk to each other and figure out a way to propose that to them appropriately so that this legislative session might be the way to go with it.
I propose Post-it notes. I got a sticky note for that shit somewhere. I mean, it looks like the Bruce Almighty fucking show, but yeah, it's in here. Like, I mean, it's better than RFID tags. It'd definitely be cheaper.
Yeah, but I think RFID tags are a little in the weeds about the industry, to be honest.
I mean, and you're causing a whole lot of radio waste. I mean, that is unnecessary out there. I mean, radio frequency alone, waste. Like, we shouldn't just be throwing that into the landfill like people.
Yeah, no, I agree. All that copper, I mean, it can be reused. We're constantly in a state of needing more computer electronics. Why are we wasting all of this RFID tags in every single one? And I understand that, whatever. Anyway, Metric is what it is.
Earn that paycheck. Count them plants.
Count them.
Count the plant.
Well,
fight the system.
Counting them anyway, because the RFID only works in a certain percentage of the time. But
yes.
Yeah, I agree. The CCD has actually been really open to this. So this and some other kind of common sense, like red tape reduction, waste reduction, redundancy reduction. The MTCI actually took a list of that to the CCD. And the CCD was pretty open to it, to seeing some of that change in statute. They're always like, our hands are tied if it's in statute, which is true. But they're open to it. They are not...
I agree with them if it's in statute, but I disagree with them when they're extending the statute to their rules and overextending that statute. We've seen that several times where they take a particular statute and put a rule in place and then extended it beyond what the statute's meaning is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that overall, I think if we soon coalesce around this, we may have an opportunity, though, like you're pointing out. they're prime and open for like talking to people. And so this is a good opportunity to have that open dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and if we as an industry come together, the more of us come together that agree on something, the more likely they'll listen to us. That's certainly the big thing they're always told is we don't want to hear the infighting. We don't want that. We want a general consensus from the industry. And I'm like, all right, that's great. Like, I think there's a lot of things we pretty much all agree on. And plant tags is a great place to start because I don't know anyone in the industry that would fight that one.
I can't think of a single person.
I just want to take a minute to shout out the chat. We've got Jennifer Lee, Dallas Weaver. What is that? Road Finds TV coming in. I see
got
Mr.
Ohio
Burns, Ohio 420 friendly. Steve
All
Turk.
the way from Ohio.
Oh yeah, we've got a few folks from out in Illinois joining us. Absolutely,
A couple of folks from the
appreciate
Middle
you
East,
guys.
which we appreciate you too.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's see. We do got some good stoner trivia tonight. I heard we got some really great questions.
Tanaki always brings it in with those great questions.
You know, I think I actually did some pretty easy questions this week. They should all.
We'll have to see. Well, chat will have to determine if they're easy or not.
And that is sort of like, I believe, a warning that we're all in trouble.
I know. I was just thinking, man, it's going to be so embarrassing when we get every single question wrong.
You know what I heard on the local radio station today?
You're really setting us up for failure tonight.
Are you smarter
Hey,
than
Zach,
the
welcome
DJ?
from YouTube.
Are you smarter than that, DJ?
Mhm. Not surprised.
All right, let's roll it, Michelle.
All right, getting there. We're going smarter than a stone.
Smoking like a rasta, feeling so high. We talk about cannabis and getting fly. Are you smarter than a stoner? Let's find out. Listen up, my friends. I got something to shout. Cannabis knowledge, let it flow through your mind. Getting blazed, smoking loud. We all unwind. Trivia questions, can you keep up the pace? Let's see if you're sharper in this smoky haze.
Snarky incoming.
It's yours, girl.
Boom.
Oh, hello and welcome back. I'm still trying to find my question sheet.
We're stoners
Littering
trying to be
and
smarter than
littering
stoners.
and.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Well, while I have that opportunity, I'm just going to go ahead and remind everyone to go ahead and tag your friends. Let's see how many people we can get in here for Are You Smarter Than a Stoner? The more people that play, the funner it is. And while you're at it, go ahead and drop that like, follow, and share, and subscribe. We do have subscriptions active on Facebook as well as stars, so feel free to experiment with that if you want.
Yeah, we're still
Jesus,
learning.
somebody
how it
hire
works.
that man.
Are you ready, Missy?
I am. So what? It actually loaded up for me this week.
We're going number one.
So number one, which method of cannabis consumption is known for its delayed onset but longer lasting effects?
Creeper weed.
Creeper.
A,
You're not wrong.
smoking. B, edibles. C, vaporizing. Or D, sublingual tinctures or under the tongue tinctures.
So just to give Aaron and Mike a quick rundown, normally we have sticky notes here that we all stick up so that way we don't all shout out the answer at
You got to
once.
stick them right straight to your forehead.
Yeah, but we'll just start out by asking you guys what you think. So we'll start there, but we'll get there whenever Tanaki's ready.
All right.
All of them say.
I even have some sticky notes.
Oh,
perfect.
Ooh,
Prepared.
Participation.
Preparedness,
They
people.
are
Start
definitely
using
on
some-
our fucking level.
Start
See, I told you the
using
sticky note
some-
tracking system. Everyone's got them.
It's better than metric. Postage
right.
just by like
You ready?
in
I
Pesos.
have my answer.
Get out of 3M.
What
I
do we
said,
see?
get out of 3M. They make the Post-it notes.
yeah.
See if you
Seeing some bees.
see
You know, seeing some. I can't see that far away.
Dude, I'm just gonna totally stick with
Yeah.
creeper weed.
We didn't think this through. We can't quite see all the way over there.
So the answer to
There we go.
Mr. Burns said gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Love it.
Gummy bears are slow acting, unless they're made with nano infusion. But technology advances.
Yeah, those shots, dude. Those nano shots were something. And then I think they put them in a couple of gummies as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
Dude, you should try the mixed drink version. Holy smokes! And these guys are talking about it there too.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
we got to
need
get some
up
of that
to
on our
Flathead
shelves
and get
for
some
sure.
mixed drinks, bro.
Yeah, dude. Got a
I'm
trip.
willing to try. My grandkids are up there, so let's get it.
Say, hey,
There we go.
Come see you guys for mixed drinks.
So number two, What is dabbing in cannabis culture? A.
I saw that one coming. My fault, man. Sorry.
Missed a moment.
A. Mixing cannabis with tobacco and smoking it. B. A method of consuming cannabis concentrates by heating them on a hot surface and inhaling the vapor. C. Eating raw cannabis leaves. Or D. Eating or using cannabis infused creams or balms for pain relief.
Sorry, but B could be knife hits, bro.
Yeah, I mean, same old, you know.
The original dab.
Indeed. I've heard some
Mhm.
legendary stories about people in their first dabs.
Mm.
Dropping the honey drops and like the hammers and stuff like that. Dang. Times must have been fun when people first started figuring that out.
The world walks like a
What do you
waterbed,
mean?
bro.
You use the convection oven like stovetop and you put the two butter knives into the side of it. over
That's
there?
called a knife hit, bro.
Yeah, it's the knife one. And
You
then,
use the toilet paper roll to hit that fucking ball of hash.
yeah, my pop said they used to put a glass over the edge of the table
Yep.
and then kind of heat it up and it'd fill the glass up and then they'd lift the glass and then turn it up.
Oh, like I wouldn't want to touch that to your lips. That's probably why those people like had.
Well, they heated it
suction
up
look.
and let the smoke go into the glass without
imagine
hitting the glass. But
exactly what you're thinking.
Why do you have big lips?
Doggone off topic.
I was
that's
not- I was hitting.
We did, but it's
Weed.
just friendly conversation. Anyway, so what is dabbing? Now that we've talked about it,
Dabbing is letter B. That is
B.
going to be
You
the answer.
smart.
oh, so this is yeah. I'm gonna just leave this up here then.
All right, we're number 3.
Number 3. What is the main difference between a blunt and a joint?
Shit, yeah, put it up there.
How long it takes me to smoke it?
A blunt is rolled with tobacco leaf or cigar paper, while a joint is rolled with thin paper. B, a joint contains concentrates, while a blunt only contains flour. C, a blunt is a form of vaporizing, while a joint is smoked traditionally. Or D, a blunt is only for medical use, while joints are for recreation.
Mm. Well, according to
I don't think it's the right answer. Yeah, I think we probably are all on the same page here, but
Looking at A's,
A's.
that is the correct answer. Looks like Daniel has something to say.
I
Though.
was gonna say I've always thought of just joints as the smaller one and blunts as the bigger one. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Like, is a king palm with giant wrap, like, is that a blunt or is that a joint? 'Cause
Well,
it's
you
not
know, that's
typical.
a great.
I want to say it's probably technically a blunt because it's a really thick paper, like cigar papers or rolling it in tobacco.
Even
leaf.
if it's a different material, it's the same idea.
Mhm.
I mean, what do you guys think from Tamarack?
Oh
Yeah, I've always thought of it as tobacco. I don't know
Yeah.
where you'd put like a can of King Palm thing in there.
Or whatever.
I don't know.
I could throw that as
So
a
that
blunt
would be
because it's like
more.
a-
You're thinking the canna palm is more like a canagar, whereas the blunts.
Yeah. Yeah, where I think of as a blunt as being in tobacco.
That's what I feel as well. I feel like, if you have the tobacco involved, that is a true blunt. Just like, if you put tobacco in your joint, that's a spliff.
Yep.
And so like
Stoner term.
those things right there, I think
Mhm.
matter. And if you're just putting it in a cannabis leaf or in some sort of palm leaf or something else, it doesn't qualify.
Dang.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe people were putting tobacco in their joints, to be honest with you. Like,
That's-
I honestly heard about it from the first time from a buddy of mine over in England, out in Leeds. And he's like, yeah, we mix it up 50-50 sometimes it's just a little. I
You
was like,
never
why?
heard.
I was like, why are you doing it? I was like, it's
They
weed.
don't
Like,
smoke much. They don't
hard to-
smoke straight flower there. In all
Yeah.
of Europe, it's always with tobacco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard Europe is like that.
So do you think that has to do with the fact that the tobacco helps to transmit the THC a little bit better when they're shitty weed?
I just think they already smoke so much tobacco, and they can't imagine not smoking tobacco if they're smoking.
Yeah, you're
Hell
probably
yeah.
right about that.
Definitely, like when we went to Jordan, and they were like, definitely all the hash and everything, they were adding it into hookahs, they were adding it into tobacco because they're obsessed with tobacco there. So That was
Steve says shut
one of
up.
the first times that the only way I could get cannabis was to smoke tobacco. I was like, all right,
Damn it, we're going in.
Here we are.
going in, we're doing this.
I was up in New York,
What?
man. I went to this one not so, on the level hookah bar, and you were able to throw some cannabis in it. And the
Maria.
dude, he said it was a basada or something like that is what they called it, but they mixed it in with the shisha and stuff. And it, dude,
Yeah.
honestly, I got wrecked. I'm not even gonna lie. Like smoking it through the hookah like that with the shisha and stuff, you didn't even realize how hard you
Well,
were hitting it.
I'm just wondering if it does sort of like an entourage effect. I mean, there's certain things like we experienced this like last weekend, and I will give full like honest confession. Normally, like a lot of edibles and stuff don't like deal much to me at all. Hannah made a coffee with a little bit of canna butter, and I found myself speaking out loud and questioning whether I was speaking out loud, and
Wow, you find yourself
Like
speaking
thinking.
out loud. Huh? That's
Thinking.
amazing.
and was just wondering like, shit, did I just say that? And yes, I certainly said that, and we were on air, so
It was an awful quiet podcast. I have to admit.
Adam about melting.
so
into the
I
back
just wonder
wall.
if maybe the tobacco versus like the butter fats, or whether those delivery systems really how they play within our systems. And I would really love to understand the research behind it better. And I mean, what do you guys think?
Absolutely. I hear a lot of anecdotal stuff, but there's some people where they really only feel edibles if they are bound to like simple animal fats, butter, for example. And if you give them something that is only sugar and doesn't have a simple fat attached to it, they just don't feel it. A lot of those people don't feel gummies very well. But then you give them something with butter in it and they feel it much stronger. So I think that definitely is just, absorption. Like everyone's gut biome is different. So how they absorb THC is varied. But as far as tobacco, yeah, I think there definitely, from my limited experience, was an entourage effect. I think the tobacco hid like how much, and the hookahs especially, they like simmer. So they get hot and they just stay hot, and you just keep going. And I think the tobacco played with that, definitely.
Is in Montana one of the few states that's able to sell tobacco with cannabis, like at least in a blunt?
Yeah, actually, if you have a tobacco dealership license, as well as an alternative vape license, you're able to sell both of those within your dispensary. And that's one of the things that we also offer within all the 406 organic stores. And I would recommend anybody who is out there who has a dispensary to also look into that as well. I think the CCD put out some guidance on how to do that. And I really think that that's a really key component on us staying competitive for a lot of people who are trying to come in and put a corporate pressure on us.
I think I seen a version of it out in, I think it was Bozeman. It was at a Top Shelf Botanicals. They did the tobacco crossover with the blunt. They had it was pretty much a King Palm, but it didn't have the bamboo in the end of it. And they called it a blast off blunt, and it was just the infused, blunt. It was dipped in distillate, rolled in keef, then dipped again, and rolled in micro diamond, and then they had the infused weed inside
just
of
trying
it.
to get a customer to buy that, though. I mean,
I bought it.
selling a Lamborghini.
I bought it. Yeah, we were out there to review cannabis at the time, so I was there, and I was like, yeah, let's try this thing. And I mean, there was like four of us
who buys that though, is someone who's looking for that kind of experience. But hey, it's nice to have stuff like that.
I mean, actually, it's only like $25-$30 for like a 2.5 gram blast off blunt.
Wow.
I mean, four of us smoked on it, and it seemed like it burnt forever.
Oh, I bet you.
Third.
it did.
So why didn't you buy another one?
The next time I was out there,
one?
the
This
next
guy over
time I
here,
was out
like,
there, I didn't
everybody,
get
can
one.
you see this guy over here?
We're getting reeled in.
He's not
We're
sharing.
getting reeled in, guys. All right.
Oh, there were still questions.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, folks. We're stoners, and we're trying to be
rabbit
smarter
hole.
than stoner.
It's called clip farming, guys. It's called clip farming.
So, number 4. Which form of cannabis consumption involves heating cannabis to a temperature just below combustion to release cannabinoids without producing smoke?
Tastes like popcorn.
A. Using a water bong. B, smoking
Tastes
joints,
like popcorn.
C, vaporizing, or D, consuming cannabis tinctures.
Jiffy Pop.
Mix them up this week.
They're not all B.
No, they're not. I remembered to switch a few around.
I will also go with Jiffy Pop.
I'm gonna guess C, vaporizers.
I'm seeing C's all around the
C ended
studio.
Right. That's Jiffy Pop.
First time I had a vaporizer, that thing looked like a pencil sharpener with a bowl piece and a little hose on it, and you had to sit there and hold it there for a long time, and then slowly, and you didn't feel like you were getting hit at all.
Dude, my Uncle Butch handed me a bag, and I was like, all right. And then I smoked that bag, and then he handed me another bag, and then I proceeded to lay down on the floor like a little bitch.
Is vaporizers the right answer tonight?
It is C is the correct answer.
Right.
See,
And you know, I actually had the privilege of trying a vaporizer just recently, and I can concur. It does taste like popcorn for some damn reason. Doesn't matter what kind of strains you put through there, whether they're naturally gassy or florally or just straight up taste like dirt regularly. No, they always come through tasting like popcorn with a hint of something.
Eventually,
It's-
popcorn.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys? Oh, I guess we can move on. I was gonna ask if Aaron and Mike had had any experience with vaporizers.
Yeah, I remember the like old magic wand one where you had to hold it on and you had the hose. I actually liked them, but it was a lot. You went through a lot of product. Like they were really inefficient.
I like vaporizers for concentrates over flower for sure.
Oh,
Yes.
smart.
I remember when the vaporizer first came out back in the black market days on the East Coast. People would vaporize the weed, then throw it in the bag and sell it as just dirt.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That also happened on the reservations.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of keeped out weed, burnt out weed, vaped out weed.
There you go.
People sold everywhere before people really understood what weed was about.
Right.
And dispensaries were there to help them.
So, number 5. In which country did the Rastafarian movement popularize the spiritual use of cannabis? A, India, B, Mexico, C, Ethiopia, or D, Jamaica?
Everybody knows this is New Zealand.
Right.
No, just kidding.
I feel like this is one of
Actually,
those
I
trick
thought
That's
questions.
misinformation, folks. I'm sorry.
I
thought it was
this is
China,
a
man.
trick question or something. I'm guessing. Well, actually, what are Aaron and Mike guessing?
Oh, we had D.
A D. Y'all are
D.
guessing
D.
Jamaica.
Oh, sorry, no, C. I don't know why we.
I ain't seen this
D.
meat.
No, it is D. It's like, sorry, it went away for a second.
Things on your report cards. Well,
I had all my little papers in front of me.
High school report cards. College was a little bit
Oh,
better,
we-
but yeah.
Someone earlier commented that apparently the mixing tobacco and weed is part of the
Rastafarian, yeah.
I did not
Taylor
know that.
Miller, I think, is who dropped that in the comments
wonder.
earlier.
But the
I'd-
correct answer is D.
hey, I think
D.
Taylor is also one of our moderators out there. Shout out to Taylor.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Right on, right on.
And
Thank
that
you, thank
concludes.
you.
And
this week's
shout out to
Artist
everybody
Stars.
else in the chat.
I actually got to
Huh.
swing by and go grab that thing so we can get them all
Did you
mailed
see
out.
Sister Maria's on there, Miss.
Huh?
What's that?
Maria Roundstone's on there.
Awesome.
Well, that concurs the Are You Smarter Than a Stoner?
Right
Is
on.
that-
I lost
Should've
track of how
been
many
a pretty
questions
easy
we got through.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we got to the end.
Can we do the strain
Strain
of
of the
week?
week.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Let's do
Daniel
strain
put
of the
So,
week.
together-
Maria,
Into that,
good to see you out there. We love
Give
you.
us some this week, man.
Launch
Love
into
you,
the
sister.
song. It is Death Star this week.
Death
Star.
2 minutes, 5 seconds.
Oh, that's news.
In a galaxy so far away, where the stars and moonlight play, we found the earth of cosmic light. Just a green it shines so bright. Through the smoke we drift and glide. Catch the bus, let's take a ride. Feel the
right, we're back.
All right.
Welcome back, guys.
You-
I just want to officially say that is a non-affiliated random energy sword. So that's what that last clip was.
Yeah. We don't know where it came from, but it's there.
Anyway, welcome back, guys. We got Death Star today as our strain of the week. Apparently, it's a powerful indica dominant hybrid, crossing Sensi Star with Sour Diesel. I kind of thought Sour Diesel was a little bit more of a sativa style, but I guess I'm wrong. Known for its high THC content, which hilariously Leafly always says is about 20%. This strain delivers a potent, long-lasting high that can leave users feeling sleepy, relaxed, and euphoric. Apparently, the terp profile is debated, but of course, they go with the classic defaults, myrcene and caryophyllene, with hints of limonene, making sense from that sour diesel background.
We would like to highlight that all this information does come off of Leafly on the strain of the week, Leafly weed maps and things like that. It just kind of compiles from some of the top cannabis websites.
Yeah,
and everything is
not make
all
that
for
shit up.
educational purposes only.
And exactly right. What we're doing here is for educational purposes only. Definitely seek out your own research. Do not take advice from us because we're stoners.
Indeed. But apparently Death Star is a fantastic set. Have you guys, Aaron and Mike, have you guys ever had the pleasure of having some Death Star?
No.
You know, I don't think I have. No.
There's an organic cut of it in Red Lodge, Montana, I believe.
Get you some.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that they did a round of diamonds about a year ago.
Beartooth.
Yep,
Yeah.
Beartooth Medicinal
Oh,
in Red Lodge,
Yeah.
Montana.
We had the Beartooth Death Star medicinal diamonds.
Indeed,
Yeah.
we've even carried them in our store, and I believe did they make some carts out of that, some liquid diamond carts too.
Yeah, I want to say for a minute we did have some Death Star carts and diamonds.
Very good strain.
Yeah, it was a good indica. Definitely sleepy.
Mhm.
Sleepy happy.
Absolutely.
Put you on the couch and make you.
But it's definitely been a while and I've never had actual Death Star flower.
Me either. That would
Mountain
be
Organics.
Anybody out there who's growing some, get a hold of us.
Yeah. If you have the strain in the state or Beartooth Medicinal, if you're out there, hit us up. I'd love to try it again. This time in flower format.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to try it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys see as the main driver? I mean, obviously drinks and stuff like that, but what's the main call for your store? Like how many people are looking for flower versus concentrates versus vapes?
I mean, flour's still king. Yeah, I don't think that is going anywhere in a hurry. We still sell deli style flour, so we see a lot of flour people. They like that they can come mix and match, pick a little of this, a little of that. Vapes are definitely on the rise in the concentrate. We're seeing more and more like, the all-in-ones. Those are really popular with people traveling. We've really tried to get our vape game on in the last few years, and we do a lot of live. So we harvest live sugar and do live sugar carts. They're really good. They taste like that fresh live flour. So we see a lot of that. Gummies hold the market with the edibles, but yeah, over half of our sales are still bulk flour.
Yeah.
Pre-rolls are on the rise though, that's for sure. Infused pre-rolls are. I think the only thing holding infused pre-rolls back in this state is that you have to sell them as a concentrate, so they're subject to the 8-gram limit. Because otherwise we would sell a lot more infused joints.
I believe you covered that last week, didn't you? That pre-rolls were taking the top spot.
Yeah, so pre-rolls are taking the top spot in the cannabis market throughout the world, actually, as the number one growth opportunity. And I think infused pre-rolls has a conversation to go in there. And, maybe that's something that we need to sit down and talk with the Cannabis Control Division, talk with the legislature on how we can do this. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do within the cannabis market actually benefits the Montana people because we're generating those millions of dollars worth of taxes out there that pay for the trail systems, that pay for the education systems, that pay for the things that cannabis is paying for currently. And so it behooves the state to really help us move this forward and make sure that we're continuing to generate revenue on those ends.
Absolutely. As we remind the state all of the time, the black market doesn't have a purchase limit. So
Right.
if they would like more tax revenue and more cannabis sold, that would certainly be one of the ways. It's not something that I think a lot of flower purchasers hit up as much as it is infused pre-rolls and edible. The edible limit is just, especially for the sickest people, it's the weirdest limit in the state. 800 milligrams. I mean, a cancer patient can take that in 2 days.
Well, I mean, think about this
Easily.
aspect. I mean, a medical patient's only allowed to buy 8 ounces, but then once they kick their medical card off, they can go buy unlimited amount that they want to. I mean, so I mean, it seems a little bit backwards that we're limiting the sickest people of the state, whereas we're not actually, doing that with anybody else. So I don't believe that medical patients should have any limits when recreational patients have, or recreational customers have, 0 limits.
Absolutely. And those recreational patients shouldn't even have the purchase limit. Again, like, well, they can buy 800 milligrams from me and then they can go down the road and buy 800 milligrams. So why couldn't they just buy 1,600 milligrams in one store if that's what they wanted to do?
Exactly.
And the same with the medical. And what other medicine do you have to like go 8 times in a month to get your month's supply? We have people that come for some of our specialty products that drive hours to see us. And they're like, well, I'll get my limit today. See you in a few weeks. So yeah, you could save some really sick people a lot of time running back and forth to the dispensary if they could buy their month's medicine at one time.
I totally agree.
Well, and you hit on the and maybe this is one that we can talk to them about too, but the unnecessary red tape. I thought it was really hilarious when the legislation went into place to ban the essentially over 80% full gram distillate, but customers can still buy 2 half-gram carts. So effectively, it changed nothing at all.
And it doesn't even apply to THCA. So they can still buy a gram of diamonds, but if you decarb the diamonds, they have to buy it in 2 half grams.
It's so strange.
Well,
That law never made any sense.
There's no logic to it.
I think that's what happens when you get people who try to do prohibition aspects, who don't understand anything about this and try to create cannabis policy when they have absolutely no idea what cannabis is about and doesn't involve the actual stakeholders like the people who have been dealing with for years. And I'm hoping that maybe this legislative session we can convince the CCD and the legislature to actually include the people who are paying the taxes in their position, so that we're not getting taxation without representation.
I feel like we should make them all sit down. Anybody that's voting on it, you got to sit down for a session and sesh. You got to take some edibles.
Dude, I would love
We're gonna
that.
dab you out. You're gonna get fucked up today, and then tomorrow when you can talk again, we're gonna discuss how you actually feel about it.
A lot of people, there are a lot of non-stoner people that vote yes on this kind of stuff though too. So we don't want to isolate that.
Absolutely.
Those people.
Smart.
Seriously.
Well, we're not
though.
isolating them. We're just getting them stoned too, so that they can make
Yeah,
an
fair.
informed
But they're not
decision.
They
stoner
may never
people.
vote again.
They'll never vote again.
They're like, damn that. Like, that stuff fucking dripped me, bro.
It'll be a great event. We'll get it sponsored by Ben and Jerry's. Everybody's gonna have a really great time,
I
and
will.
they'll wake up the next
Ice
day.
cream
We'll be
would go,
fine.
go a long ways in that event.
Right.
That's for dang sure. That is for dang sure.
Ice cream's pretty universal.
Mm-hmm. Nobody is back in the chat once again.
Just who's
No.
nobody?
I don't know. Who's nobody?
So,
It's funny.
and Tanaki just asked me about the news, and I will tell you that I was a bit preoccupied this week with tons of other stuff,
Right.
and I appreciate everybody's patience with this. But the only real news that was out there that was really like something that was compelling was the fact that there was a study done about terpenes that has happened recently. And realistically, what the scientists have figured out is it's plausible that there may be an entourage effect. I mean, it's like, okay, well, maybe eventually 10 years later, the science will catch up with us stoners, but we're the lazy bastards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really the only like news out there that was just earth shattering. There is the position that the deschedule bill is heading, or the deschedule regulation is heading to the president's desk, and he's going to sign that. But according to the Congressional Research Office, it's not going to mean a whole lot to you and I who are out here producing on the street. It's going to mean a lot to the pharmaceutical companies. It's going to mean a lot to Walgreens. It's going to mean a lot to CVS, and it's going to mean a lot to those European people who are bringing in those products to our company. But to those of us who are kicking it out here on the street, it may not mean a whole lot.
That makes a yeah.
So, unfortunately, as much as I would like to give you good, happy stoner news, that's the news for today.
I mean, it's pretty shocking. But once again, back to the point of having the sesh, you know, the scientists can sit down, smoke this. No, how you feel? Okay, smoke this one. You see why that one fucks you up and you're on the floor right now? Yeah, see, that's called the entourage effect right there. That one had a lot of different stuff in it, bud, compared to that one that had like nothing in it, you know?
I would love to do that, but
decisions.
unfortunately, I mean, they call that human torture these days. So
That's not torture. That's called a study.
I
Well,
mean,
there's
I call it a
there's
frat house
voluntary
party,
studies.
but bro,
I was going to say these college
What do you guys think?
studies are going to be
Aaron, Mike, is it a
You know, I
study
read
or-
up on this study and a few others, and I think the hard part about studying it, because I think we all know that the terpenes and all the other cannabinoids have unique interchangeable relationships with each other, but they're not consistent across people. You know, there are a lot of people out there who a strain will make sleepy. You know, you'll say 70-80%. And then there's the opposite, and you can give that strain to the same person and they're like, man, I'm wired. And that makes it really tough for scientists to pin down. I'm always coming at it from a scientist's mind, and it's one of the things that is tough. You talk to, every time we come out with a new strain, everyone in the company gets it, okay? It's 35 people. And you'd think there'd be some consensus sometimes amongst how does this make me feel? Like what effect specifically did this strain have on me? But there's always outliers, and there's always people who didn't feel what the majority felt. And I'm sure that clouds the picture when you're trying to put it in black and white research paper. So they have an effect, but just like so many other plants, that effect is not the same on everybody. One person can drink 9 cups of coffee and go to sleep, and one person can have a tiny bit of coffee and be awake all day. Same thing with cannabis. I think it's to each their own. We really try to educate our patients to that. You're like, hey, this is what happens with a lot of people, but you gotta try this, and you gotta find what works for you, and empower people to know that like it's what it does to them that matters.
Mileage may vary.
Give me 1 out of 5, man. Give me 5. 5 tries. I'm gonna get you fucked up one way or the other. It's like we got this terpene complex, this one. We're gonna cover all bases with these 5 flowers. We're gonna get it done. 1 in 5.
I believe that science will get done over
Yeah.
time. It's just going to take a long time.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time, and there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of different terpenes in every strain. And yeah, I mean, I love the broad spectrum approach. Like, that's what we do with some of our full spectrum and our RSO. You're like, yeah, throw it all in the pot, and you're guaranteed that the end result is going to get there.
Well, yeah,
Right.
just kind of bracketing it in, like you'll have a flower over here that's really high in limonene and maybe some caryophyllene. Then I'll have one over here with humulene, linalool, and things like that. And we're going to see which ones are hitting where, which combos are going, and then kind of find the way to direct it. That's kind of how I bracketed down what really worked for me. I started finding out, linalool and limonene and things like that in different strains were really having good effects. I was like, cool. So let me isolate those terps and start finding a combination of limonene and linalool in a flower and things like that, and see if this really gets it. And then before you knew it, I was down the path of finding flowers that way that were really hitting and doing well for me. So you just kind of bracket it and then slowly like dial it back in and find what works for you.
Well, I think we've seen that a lot within some of our own customers as well. They understand that this particular terpene profile works for them versus this particular terpene profile. And that's the one thing that I think that we need to try to work on is the less restrictive language capabilities, and we should be able to educate the consumers, because if we were actually able to advertise to consumers like, look, maybe you should only take a quarter of a gummy, not walk into this and fucking drink the whole bottle of Everclear, then it might be good for you and you don't have to go to the hospital, but we're prohibited on a lot of that language. And so I think we're going to have to find that balance as well.
there's a comedian, Josh Wolf. He does a bit about a blueberry muffin. And back in California, when they still had their areas, I could just kick it and hang out, watch TV and stuff. And he's like, I walk in for the first time and I see this blueberry muffin. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, I love blueberry muffins. Blueberry. So he grabs it and he goes and sits down. He turns on the TV and he says, about the time he's just getting it done, the owner of the shop walks around the corner and he's like, you didn't eat that whole fucking muffin, did you? He's like, what do you mean? He was like, tell me you didn't eat that whole fucking muffin. He's like, yeah, I ate the whole muffin. I mean, who eats half a fucking muffin?
You can't eat half a
Right.
muffin.
He was like, you need to give me your keys right now or drive home right now. What's going on? He's like, I've
You
never
aren't
been
gonna live
scared of
past this
weed
muffin.
until this moment. Until he's like, dude, I own the shop and I only eat a quarter of the muffin. He's like, give me your keys or go home right now.
Dude, I got a real live Montana story about that with monster cookies that we'll tell on another episode. But I think getting back to the conversation of the entourage effect, Uncle Steve really hits it with his mixologies. He comes out here and he will take like a 17%, maybe 2% in this particular terpene profile, and then he'll add it with this particular cannabis and sort of like we're talking about with cannabis and tobacco, and he will mix some bangers out there that will totally lift you. And so I think people should really walk into their shops looking for not just the highest THC, which I liken those people to Everclear drinkers. They should be really looking for a different variety of flowers that they might be able to mix together and might make some banger potions that they're looking for. Versus what we got today.
Right. If you just want 100% THC, then go ahead and just buy distillate.
By distillate or
Isolate,
other
yeah.
forms of
Diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine if that's your thing, but I love flower.
Hey, man.
I mean, a diamond's cool.
And
but it's
taste,
just-
too.
I don't feel like a diamond comes with substance.
No.
Yeah, see, I like
Personally,
flower for all the different just variety of flavors and tastes that you can get out of them. Like you typically can't pick up 2 strains and then smoke each one and then be like, oh no, they tasted the exact same.
No.
Like
not
you
with
shouldn't
flower.
you shouldn't come across that with 2 different strains. They should taste pretty different.
But when you get sometimes when you get dab though, like I feel like there's only so many dab profiles, right? Like it's either tastes kind of like lemons or it tastes kind of like grease or it tastes like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Earthy,
granted,
kinda,
Dirt.
or
I forgot the dirt.
flowers and dirt.
Or,
That's it,
you
though.
got the color remediated stuff that just
Tastes like
basically
nothing.
doesn't taste like anything. It's just sort of like the ultra light cigarette.
That or whatever, artificial terp got tossed back into it. There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Ooh, some of those artificial terps are really rough.
Wicked
I really fight those flowery ones or the floral ones.
Mhm.
Ooh, those ones send me straight into a coughing fit, just straight up dead, wrecked, and not a fun
Wild
way.
West.
Which shout out to CCD for shutting down Wild West Wellness and
Yes.
stopping them from wrecking people's lungs.
Dude,
Oh my
got
God.
everybody here
I
saying,
can't believe it took as long as it did, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, apparently they were doing an investigation here in Billings since February, and it took them until now to basically shut them down, which I guess, when you deal with due process and all that stuff, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. The only thing I can say is I appreciate the fact that they shut them down. The one problem that I see is they're able to shut these illegal operators who pop up. But I mean, why is the DEA and other people not dealing with some of the illegal operators? And I mean, just a question out to you guys. I mean, clearly we just elected somebody as the Montana Cannabis Advocate of the Year who advocates against shops and for the black market. Do you think that's a good look for us as an industry?
No, I saw that as well and was surprised. There's so many great advocates that are for us and for the legal market and for the patients that, yeah, I agree with you there. There's a lot of divide in the industry about feelings for the black market, and and how that should all be dealt with. That was a complicated question. The biggest thing that could be done to rectify the situation would be to drop the tax and drop not all the way, but lower the tax and lower the costs on legal operators to let us have a more level playing field with the black market. And it's certainly advocates that are going for that are going to get my vote.
Yeah, and my position with it is that if the consumers out there are really advocating that they don't care whether or not they're buying from Johnny Lump or the shop down the street who actually has to go through all the testing protocols, everything else like that, then why do the shops have to go through all the testing protocols? Why do the shops have to go through all these things? Shouldn't we be on a fair market enterprise with everybody else? And aren't you just giving a leg up to the black market over us shops who are trying to play and pay taxes? Because guess what? The black market pays zero in taxes. They don't build one trail. They don't pay any salaries. They don't fund the CCD or anything else like that.
I mean, I'm sure they don't. I just want to highlight that the IRS did release a statement saying that drug dealers are supposed to be claiming any income made from selling drugs on their taxes.
I'm sure
I doubt they're doing it, but it's in the IRS claims now. I was like, yeah, they're totally gonna do that, dude. Like,
I'm sure that is the one thing that El Chapo is sitting in prison going, damn it, if I had only claimed it on my taxes, I would have been good.
I mean, that's probably the only reason he's sitting in prison, because he didn't pay his taxes.
Amen to that.
The mob, right? Tax evasion and all that.
Yeah, that's how they got Capone, was tax evasion.
Well, I mean, I think they took out Capone because they didn't want competition, but that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, that's just how they got him, was the old tax evasion, man.
Well, that sounds kind of like an after-show conversation.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm just saying that's how they got Wesley Snipes too, man. They took out fucking Blade to tax evasion.
And
the daylight couldn't kill him, vampires couldn't kill him, but tax evasion could put his ass in
now
prison.
We got nothing but fucking Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, I think we should wrap this up and shoot over to the after show where we continue our nonsensical rambling.
But we also have to thank our guests out there from Tamarack and joining us tonight. We appreciate your time and joining us so late in the evening. You guys are awesome, and we would love to have you back again. And stay lifted out there, and please keep spreading the word.
Absolutely.
Will do. Thanks for having us. We loved it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Love what you're doing.
Good one.
Yeah.
Peace out, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Have a good night.
Good
Good night.